go to the 14th shloka. Pratte bravimi tadume nibodha swargyamagnim nachiketah prajanan anantaloka aptimato pratishtham viddhi tvametam nihitam guhayam. So Yama is telling, Prate bravimi tadume nibodha. This one that you asked for, here I am telling you, listen carefully, nibodha. Carefully you listen, pay attention. Swargyamagnim, that fire that takes you to the highest swarga, which I know of, Prajanan. O Nachiketa, here I am telling you, Prate bravimi tadume nibodha. Tat u, that one you listen to, nibodha, very carefully, pay attention. What is that? Ananta loka. It takes you to the unending loka. Ananta means at the end of everything. There are small Swarga lokas, and there is this highest Swarga loka. That one, the highest one I am going to teach you. Aptim atho pratishtham, which is the very pratishtha. Pratishtha means the foundation on which everything else is built. That is the highest, that is the best. That one I am going to take you to. So viddhi tvametam. Know that this one, this particular knowledge of this Swarga, nihitam guhayam, it is very hidden. Nihitam means hidden. Guhayam, in some secret place, this knowledge is hiding. It means this knowledge is not to be given to everybody. Not everybody knows about this particular Swarga that I am going to teach you. Lower Swargas, people are aware of rituals about that. So it says, we have seen various Swarga loka, after that Bhuva, Mahajana, Tapa, Satyam, it goes. And what is Pratishtham? Pratishtham is even beyond Satyam. What is this Pratishtham? So Aitareya Upanishad, we have to go back and refer a little bit. I will not go very detailed, but I will tell you some basic. In Aitareya Upanishad, it is written how the creation came about. And the first, there was only Brahman. I alone was, Brahman says. There was nobody who even winked and knew that I existed. Then what happened? This Brahman started thinking, I am alone, I am alone, I am alone. Let there be somebody who knows I am here. And he starts thinking. The thinking Brahman is called Ishvara. Initially there is Brahman who is not thinking, is absolute blank. But after that one thought emerged in that absolute blank. And then he created Prakriti out of himself. If we go back to our Big Bang theory, it says in the beginning there was big gaseous cloud was there and all these gases were interacting, and then a Big Bang happened and matter came out and that spread in all directions, and somehow these planets formed, and of all the galaxies in the universe, solar system came into the galaxy, this one which we are a part of, and then Milky Way, and then in that Milky Way, out of billions of stars, somehow sun had this special ability to attract some planets around itself through its gravitational pull. And each of these planets got into their orbits and started revolving. And among all the planets, only Earth had this special privilege of the right distance from the sun, right size to develop an atmosphere and to contain water, which gave birth to life. All this happened out of Big Bang is what is being said. So in the beginning, what was there? All scientists said there was some kind of a gases were there. Now, where did these gases come from? Nobody knows. Even science does not know. What was the emergence of these gases? They just can trace it back all the way to a gaseous state of the universe. That's the last they have reached so far. But our Upanishads say, even before those gases were formed, there was this Brahman who was there. That's it. Then he thought, I must create. And first thing he created is these lokas. So these gases came out of his just mere will. Like example given is, when a spider wants to weave a web, it brings out the web from its own mouth, its own stomach. Urnanabhi it is called. Very naturally it weaves a web, lives in it, and then eats up the whole web when it wants to shift. And Spider-Man swings from here to there, goes to the next tree, builds another web. That is how God has created the whole universe out of himself and eats it all back. That is what Srishti Sthiti Laya is all about. So in a simple text, Upanishad say, Mundaka Upanishad will teach us about that more. But in Aitareya it is said, the second person who came out is who? Ishvara. Now Ishvara decided to create. He created suddenly out of his own sankalpa, like an architect creates a design in his own mind. Before the painting came about, where was the painting? It was in the mind of the artist. Likewise, Ishvara designed the universe. This is how it should be. And everything came about by his sankalpa. And when it came about, that whole manifestation of the Ishvara in terms of all the gases and clouds, and each cloud and gases interacting with each other, producing new gases by their combinations of molecules, and then bringing about various elements like the air that we are breathing has several gases in it: nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and so on. And then also all these gases started forming together. There were exothermic reactions, lot of heat came out, fire came out, and then slowly that all turned into water. What is water after all? It is hydrogen and oxygen combined. What are hydrogen and oxygen? These are gases. So some point in time when these gaseous molecules came together, got formed into H2O or water. And this water, when it solidified, from there many more gases joined, new elements were formed, and that's how Earth came about. So this is this explanation of creation. And from there, you single cell animals, and then it grew into a multi-complex organism, and then human beings, the highest crest jewel of the creation over millions of years of evolution, have come about. But all these Aitareya Upanishads will tell you in one paragraph. But remember, this Aitareya Upanishad was written thousands of years ago, before even such scientific experiments started. So India knew, we called India Bhugola, we call it, round. Earth was round, we knew. And how did we depict the earth on Varavatara's nose? Snout? Round only. We didn't describe it as a square or a triangle. So our people knew in those times that there is this Bhugola, earth is round only. So this way everybody knew a lot more things. And how did they all come to know these rishis? This is what is possible when you develop that purity. Your mind merges with the mind of Brahman. So whatever Brahman knows, you know. That is why kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati. Idea is that these rishis got to know. Simply in meditation they got to know. And that is how they knew it existed. So now what happened? This gaseous cloud or whatever, that floating mass, this was called Hiranyagarbha. Can you remember that? Hiranyagarbha it's called. Hiranya means golden, Garbha means womb. It is like a womb from which everything is born later. A womb has all the fluid which is needed for the child's growth and development. It protects it. Like that, this was the Brahmanda, the egg, cosmic egg, or Hiranyagarbha. And from this Hiranyagarbha, the first being came out. He's called Virata. His name is Virata. Then we hear in Purusha Suktam, Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasas Parastat. That is the Purusha came out. Purusha means not a male or a female. Purusha. Pura means a place. Shaya means the one who stays or sleeps in that. So Purusha was a place in which this one, the Brahman, decided to go and stay. Because otherwise Brahman had no place, he was everywhere. So he decided. That is why Virata Purusha came. This Virata Purusha is also referred to as Jagat Pratishtham. Pratishtha means it is the foundation, the basis from which now the Jagat started. And then humans came, and then heaven and hell, all these came. Karma came, Karma Prabhava came. Accordingly, heavens and hells got created, and people accordingly enjoyed or suffered. So this Pratishtham word, what he is saying, Ananta Lokat Aptim Atho Pratishtham. That one which is the Pratishtha for all the lokas, that is the final one. Purusha is the only thing. Before Purusha was Hiranyagarbha. That is just a gaseous mass. There is nothing, there is no manifestation there. But Purusha is the Virata, is the first manifestation. So he says, the one vidhim tvam, the one who comes to know about that Purusha, that Virata Swarupa of God, the first manifested form of God, that secret, once you come to know, you go to that loka where that Purusha resides. That is the best, it seems. So all the Swarga Agnis that the Father knows, none of these are this one. Yama is clearly differentiating and saying, now the one which I am teaching you, it takes you to Ananta Loka Aptam. After highest of the highest it takes you to. Nobody knows why it takes you all the way to the Loka where Virata, the Jagata Pratishtha, the one who is the foundation of this entire universe resides. It means your mind becomes one with his mind, cosmic mind, and you enjoy all the knowledge and all the things that comes along with it. Because Virata's Sankalpa that all the things came about. So you become as powerful, as glorious as that. This is the one I am teaching you, which is a great secret. And then what he said, Lokadimagnim tam uvacha tasmai ya ishtaka yavatirva yathava sacha api tat pratyavadat yathoktam athasya mrityu punurevaha tushtaha. So you understand this, very nice. He says Lokadim Agnim. Lokadi means before the first Loka, first time what God created. About that Agni, Yama has told. That is why I told you the story of Virata. Because before all the Lokas, he was there. That one Agni where you can reach that highest of the highest state, Loka Adi, the beginning, before the Lokas came into picture, what was there? About that, Yama has taught Nachiketa now. And also taught how to perform this Agni. Ya Ishtaka, Yava Tirva, Yathava. What all things have to be gathered. Ishtakas are bricks. So you will see in Yajna Kundas, they'll put bricks and there are various levels of bricks, size of the Yajna Kunda and design of the Yajna Kunda. All these are very important to perform a certain Yajna in a certain way. Very thorough rules are there. So he taught him what kind of bricks he requires, how many number of bricks are required, how it has to be arranged. All these Yama taught. And then what he said, Sacha api, even Nachiketa, what he did, tat pratyavadat. Whatever Yama said, he repeated. As you know, in the old times, the only way of learning was when the Guru says, Shishya has to repeat. And if Shishya cannot repeat, he has lost the knowledge. Because there is no written knowledge anywhere where you go back and refer. Neither digital nor analog, nothing is there, no print material. Therefore, this person has to remember the moment Guru speaks. So you can only imagine the concentration of the students of those days. They have to imagine, they have to remember verbatim. And these Gurus were quite harsh. They won't repeat it again and again. Once they've said, that is it. And they will say, if you remember, fine. If you don't remember, that's it. So how is this Nachiketa? So Shraddha Dhanam, he said, I am come with Shraddha. Please teach me about that Agni. And when he said Tat Pratyavadat, exactly repeated. Yathoktam, as Yama had said, he repeated verbatim without making a mistake. That Yama saw, what a brilliant boy. Mrityu Punarevaha Trishta. He again spoke with happiness. He was overjoyed to see such a brilliant disciple who can repeat verbatim without making a mistake, even though he has been told, but only once. Let me tell you a nice story, simple one here. I heard this. Swami Chinmayananda, who founded the Chinmayananda mission, he went to Himalayas as an investigative journalist. He went to Shivananda Ashram in Himalaya, though he went with the bad idea of exposing the sadhus of Himalayas. And he fell in love with Shivananda Ashram and Shivanandaji's teachings, which is there in Rishikesh now, Shivananda Ashram. And he told finally, I want to learn Vedanta. Please teach me. But I want to learn Yathoktam, the way it is said and taught. That is how traditionally, orthodox way I want to learn. Then Shivanandaji said, for that, there is one Swamiji by name Tapovana Swamiji. You have to go and learn from there. Now already Rishikesh is 8,000 feet in Himalayas. Tapovana Swamiji lives almost 14,000 feet near Gangotri, which also we had gone in one of the trips earlier. Very cold. Ganga is frozen, ice blocks during winters. And whatever little it melts, that is the water you can drink, and you have to bathe in that minus degree water. No heater facility, no electricity. And he told Tapovana Swamiji is the right person to learn this from. I will recommend, he doesn't accept just any disciple, but I will tell you a case and he'll accept you. But there are few rules you must know, is very strict. Okay, I will do anything to learn Vedanta. Chinmayanandaji told and went. So he climbed up all the way, went to near Gangotri and met this Tapovana Swamiji. He told, okay, since Shivanandaji has told, I will accept you. But just I have two rules in my educational institution. What is education? Nothing. He lives in a cave. There's no desks, chairs, lights, bulbs, nothing. And Tapovana Swamiji told, only two things are there. Whatever I teach you today, tomorrow you have to repeat it verbatim. If you make a mistake, you will be dismissed from the institution. Not even suspension, termination from the institution if you cannot repeat it the next day. Second thing he told him, I have no accommodation, nothing over here. You have to find your own accommodation. There, which hotel is there, which in Himalayas, 14,000 feet? Where do I go and live? Well, find out. There are some other people, if they adjust you in their own cottages or whatever, up to you. So he was so wanted to learn, like Nachiketa, I will not go back till I learn Vedanta. That Shraddha was there. So he stayed back and found a place to live somewhere, and will go down all the way to Ganga to have bath in that cold water at some 4 o'clock, and then come back again, and the classes will start, and he will say, and these people have to repeat. Next day he has to verbatim repeat. So this kind of a thing was going on. So that is the kind of Shraddha, Bhakti that they have shown towards their Guru in order to understand the value of this Vedanta. Vedantam paramam guham pura kalpe prachoditam. They were teaching that in the old times, this secret of Vedanta. You should not teach it to the one who has no peace of mind, because he can't remember. If you teach, he'll forget tomorrow. He'll not be able to remember anything. It's a waste of Guru's time. So, na aprashantaya. When are we restless? When we have desires, then that is when we are restless. When our mind and senses are not in our control, that is when we are restless. When we keep all these together, when we are in control of our mind and senses, and we have no desires, that is when we become peaceful. And that is the only time when we can learn something, not with a restless mind. So he said, na aprashantaya. Don't teach it to those who don't have a peaceful disposition. Na aprashantaya datavyam, na ashishyaya aputraya punahva. Don't teach it to ashishya, who is not your disciple, and aputra, who is not your own son. Don't teach this vidya to them again, it is said. What is the logic? Aprashantaya we can understand. If he's a restless fellow, too many desires, too many distractions, it's a waste of time teaching that fellow, because he will not learn anything. It's a waste of Guru's time and efforts. Then aputraya, why? Because if it's not your son, you don't know what kind of habits this fellow has. Somewhere he has come and joined the Gurukula. Which father he is born to? What did he do before coming here? What kind of habits he has been having? Nobody knows. Therefore, teaching anybody, everybody is not a good thing, the Upanishads say. Be very careful. Then third, okay, a putra is not your son, so should you not teach to others? Teach. They should be shishyas then. Na ashishyaya. Don't teach it to those who are not your shishyas. What do you mean by shishya? In our institution, we have some rules to accept a student. They pass an exam, write their academic, whatever, entrance exam, interview, and then we say you are a student. You are accepted as a student in our institution. Otherwise, we won't accept you. Like that in Gurukulas also, there were rules to accept a student. And without qualifying, they won't accept. Can you believe what was the Gurukula rules to accept a student? 7 qualities. Prashnopanishad tells us. Brahma Nishtha. He should have great faith in the idea of Brahman. He's really interested in learning about Brahman. Brahmapara. He should be dedicated to Brahman. That child should be dedicated to the knowledge of Brahman. Brahmanveshanamana. He should have this investigative mind, curiosity to learn about Brahman. Then it says, Samit Panihi. He should carry dry wood as the offering to the teacher. Very typical. Dry wood is because they used to perform a lot of Agni, like Nachiketa Agni and various kind of homas in the ashrams. Where will poor old Guru go and search for dry wood in the forest? And he doesn't charge us for any fee. Gurukula is free. So what can we go? To please him, we carry some dry wood with us. Also, there is an inner significance. Dry wood means dry mind, free of all desires, all kinds of ambitions, all kinds of attachments. Those are like wet wood. Even if you put that in fire, it won't catch fire. So it should be dry wood. And that has to be offered to the Guru. Means a dry mind, completely detached from the world and desires, has to be offered to Guru. Samit Panihi, they say. Carry those dry wood in your hand. Then it says, our Prashnopanishad Guruji Pippalada tells them, 1 year you stay and practice these 3 things more. You have all these basic qualifications, I understand, but I would like to see it for myself. So for 1 full year, practice brahmacharya Shraddha and tapas. Brahmacharya means completely keeping your senses and mind under your control and keeping your mind always absorbed in Brahman, not getting distracted by the sensory distractions, Brahmacharya. Then tapaha, concentrated mind and a deep desire to learn the truth. Tapaha means a burning desire. Tapa, heat or temperature is tapa. Tapta, heated up. So like that, this person should have such a burning desire. When will I learn? When will I learn? That kind of mumukshatvam should be there in the child. And Shraddha, complete faith in whatever Guru is teaching. Shankaracharya tells Shraddha, Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Sattva Buddhyavadharanam Shraddha Sa Kathitha Shraddha Yaya Sadbhihi Vastu Labhyate. By gaining which one can attain the wisdom. What is that? Having faith, complete sincere faith in Guru's words and the words of the scriptures. So this is very, very important. These 7 qualities were defined for Shishyas in the past. Imagine we are changing over to Gurukulam now. If we put this condition for our admissions. Brahmanistha, Brahmapara, Brahmanveshanamana, Samitpanihi, Brahmacharya, Shraddha, Tapa. After these 7 things are there in that child, you should take them. At least if the 7 things are not there, let us say 4 things are there. What? Brahmanistha, Brahmapara, Brahmanveshanamana and Samitpani. Brahmapara, dedicated to the idea of learning about God. 2. Brahmanistha, devoted to God. 3. Brahmanveshanamana, curious to know about God. 4th, Samitpani, he desires less boy. I want to know about God. I know about truth. I want to lead a peaceful life, happy life, a useful life in the society. That kind of education I want. Even they come inside, then also the Guru Piplada says, fine, I know you are all very good boys. I can see it. But still, I have to test for myself whether you are really good or not. Therefore, I'll give you 1 year to practice Brahmacharya, Tapas and Shraddha. Show me that you are really like that. I will start teaching you after 1 year, he says. That strict was Gurukula. That strict was this idea of education in India. Now everybody learns anything, misunderstands, misinterprets, misuses, abuses this education. This is where it has all declined. Education became just a means of gathering some knowledge, turning them into some skills, and with that you become productive in the society to earn money. Our Shetty sir says, education for employment, employment for enjoyment. Ashte goal. But education was for enlightenment in our old times. Employment, enjoyment will come by and by, no problem. It will come if you are really good at what you are. So Apara and Paravidya both were taught to these Sishyas. So that is the idea why he was very happy when Nachiketa could repeat it verbatim without a flaw. And he became so happy. And when teachers become happy, they give you extra marks. So he got some extra marks. Now what did happen? Tamabravita Priyamano Mahatma Varam Tave Hadya Dadami Bhuyaha Tavaiva Namna Bhavitaya Magnihi Srinkam Chaimam Aneka Rupam Grihan. So what is he saying is Tamabravita Priyamano Mahatma. That Mahatma Yama spoke again to him. Priyamano in a very, very nice, happy, pleasing way. Because Nachiketa has become now dear to Yama. He says, Varam Tava Iha Adya Dadami Bhuya. Here I give you 1 more vara today. This is additional other than the 3 which you asked. In fact, you asked already 4, but here is the 5th one, including the 2-in-1 vara of the first one. Tavaiva namna bhavati ayam agnihi. This Agni will become known by your name. I grant this Agni your name because so far nobody knows this Agni. This is the first time I am teaching you, and therefore there is no name to this Agni so far, no nomenclature. First time I am teaching this to somebody, and therefore I give it your name, like comet, Halley's comet. First time it was spotted by some Halley, so it's called Halley's comet. Like that, I'm giving you this name. And Srinkam is like a jewel, like a necklace with various diamonds and studded with gems. Cha imam aneka rupam, of many beautiful things are studded in this one necklace. Take this as a gift from me. Not that he physically gave a necklace, but he gave this Agni, which is full of mantras, gem of mantras, like a beautiful necklace. Or Srinka also is interpreted as the path or a way or a process. So this process of the Agni, which is bejeweled with so many beautiful mantras, I give it to you, take this gift from me. And the best part is, this shall be known by your name henceforth. This is the additional boon. Then he continues to explain. We go to the 17th one. Trinachiketa Tribhiretya Sandhim Trikarma Krut Tarati Janma Mrutyu Brahmajagnyam Deva Medium Viditva Nichayemam Shanti Matyantameti. He's saying Trinachiketa, 3 times if anybody performs this yajna. So it has to be performed thrice. And Tribhiretya Sandhim, with the joining of 3 things. What are the 3 things? One way of interpretation of 3 things are, yajna has to be performed, the mantras, rituals have to be performed correctly, and then charity has to be done at the end of it. These are the 3 parts of every ritual. So whoever does that with the 3 times of this yajna, trikarmakrit, he has finished all these 3 activities, tarati janma mrityu, he crosses over janma mrityu. What does it mean? He will go to the highest heaven and live very long over there. He won't come back very soon. This boon is so very powerful. He will live long in heaven. So he will cross over the day-to-day birth and death kind of cycles. And what else he says? He says, Brahmajagnyam, Brahmaja, the one who was born of Brahman. The one who is born of Brahman. Who was born of Brahman? Just now we talked about. Ishvara is Brahman only, another name. Virata was born of Brahman. So the one who comes to know about this Virata, Brahma Aja, Jnam, knowing him, and Deva medium, Deva means the effulgent one. Idiom means worshipable one. The effulgent and the worshipable one who comes to know Viditva, Nichayemam, knowing this, what happens here itself, Shantim, attains highest of peace, Atyantameti, highest peace he attains here itself. Doesn't have to die and go and all that. Here itself, he will enjoy that Shanti because his mind will get absorbed in that highest mind of God, the cosmic mind. He'll become a Jnani and he will enjoy life here. That kind of boon this yajna brings about. Also, an interpretation of Tribhiretya Sandhim is also interpreted as that which has been learnt from 3 people, the mother, the father and the teacher. So that is how all the education was designed. First mother teaches the basics, then father teaches whatever he knows, and then he's put into the school, and that's where he learns the rest. So with these three sandhi who has learned properly, it means father is not there, mother is not there, or proper teacher is not there, then this yajnam will not have the same effect. And the one who does this way 3 times, he crosses over this birth and death, at least for a long time, he doesn't have to be born again. And having known the Virata, the firstborn of Brahman, who is worshipable, who is all effulgent, he will attain the highest of the peace for sure. Atyantam, Shanti Atyantam, ultimate Shanti, ultimate infinite peace he will attain. So that is the idea of this yajnam, which is very powerful compared to other yajnams that you people have been performing so far. So in Vedas, Karma Kanda part was very strong. Now this is where Shankaracharya came into picture. All the people were busy doing Karma Kanda. If I do this, I will get that. If I do that, I will get something else. If I get to know some better mantra, better yajna, I will get even better results than the neighbors. This became a competition amongst the Karma Kandis. They were only busy gaining, seeking, begging, asking, demanding from God. But Shankaracharya noticed that this has gone somewhere. The Vedas, These are all were required for oneself to lead a happy life. If you don't have money, if you don't have like Putreshana, Vitteshana, Lokeshana, these three desires were there. Putreshana, I should have a son who should continue my traditions. Then Vitteshana, I should have wealth so that I can pay for all these yajna, I can do charity for the yajna, which is a part of yajna. And then Lokeshana, after I die also, I should go to a good place, good heaven, not suffer in hell. These were desires with which people performed. But beyond that, they were always aware that we have to attain the highest, which is self-realization, which is the knowledge of Brahman, knowing which nothing else needs to be known. That is the last and the final stage. But even here, you see, our man, our Yama, he teaches him of the Virata level yajnam only, but he doesn't teach about the Brahma Jnana. This is not Brahma Jnana. This is still called avidya according to our scriptures. This is not vidya. Avidya. So apara is only avidya. Para is the vidya. Para is only one vidya, Brahma Vidya. So Shankaracharya interprets Upanishads as Brahma Vidya. That is his definition of Upanishads. He was the one who took upon himself to say people are getting lost in all these unnecessary rituals and ritualistic worship. They're forgetting the very purpose of why these things were there. To become pure, do good to society, and ultimately realize God. That has been forgotten. They're doing good, but they're not going for the highest. They're settling down for the lower things. So Shankaracharya took the Vedantic philosophy and spread it all around. And that is what is coming next. So the 18th shloka, Trinachiketah Trayametad viditva ya evam vidvan Chinute nachiketam samrutyupashan purutah pranodya shoka atigo modate swargaloke. So what is he saying? Trinachiketah trayametad viditva. The one who has done these 3 times, Trinachiketa is called. The one who has done, it will be a title as Trinachiketa you are. You have done 3 times this yajna. And Trayametad viditva, how it is to be done, what kind of a bricks, what kind of arrangement, how many numbers of brick, everything is perfect. He has not made the mistake about that. That's very important. Ya evam vidwan, the one who had the Pandita or the one Jnani or the one learned one who has got to know about this and performed it well, Chinute means he has collected the right kind of bricks, right kind of arrangements, right kind of things. That person, or Nachiketa, what will happen to him? Samrityu pashan puratah pranodya. Before death itself, purataha, before he goes to death, before itself he discards the mrityu pasha. Means the fear of death goes away. Pranodya, it discards or he shuns away the fear of death. Otherwise, every day we are dying with the fear tomorrow we are going to be alive or not. But here is somebody who says, I am not afraid of death because I know even after death, where will I go? I will go to the best of the heavens. It's definitely going to be better than what it is here. Therefore, he is not afraid of death anymore. And Shokadiko, he gets rid of all the sorrows. Modate Swargaloke. He, as if he is living in Swarga while he is very much in the body, that is how his life will be. Swarga is what? A pleasant experience. Narka is an unpleasant experience. A house is a Swarga when everybody is happy and healthy and nobody has any problem. A house itself is called Narka when you are suffering with each other's issues. Therefore, here itself, even before giving up the body, he already starts enjoying the Swarga because he has performed his yajna. Now, if some of you are getting tempted, do we learn the yajna now next over here? Are we going to perform during Navaratri? That's precisely not what we want to do. This is to tell that all this was offered to Nachiketa. He could have been satisfied with this much and go back. But look at what he asks next. He says, Eshate Agni Nachiketa Swargyo Yamavrunitha Dvitiyena Varena Etamagnim Tavaiva Pravakshanti Janasa Tritiyam Varam Nachiketo Vrunishwa. So Yama is telling, oh Nachiketa, this Agni, the Nachiketa Agni which takes you to the highest of Sarga, is what I have given you against the second boon that you had asked me. Yama Vrunitha Dvitiyena Varena. What you asked as the second boon, I have given to you. Now time to ask for the third boon. Etam Agnim Tavaiva Pravakshanti Janasa. All the people will be calling this Agni by your name only. Now ask me the third boon, he says. And now the Nachiketa is asking the third boon. Nachiketa is asking, this is the most important part. He asks, Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye asti ityeke nayamasti iti chaike etad vidyam anushishtastvayaham varanamesha varastrutiyaha. So he comes now to the final and the most important part. Here is where Kathopanishad really begins. So he comes and says, Yeyam prete, about this, prete, at death, vichikitsa manushye. Vichikitsa means doubtfulness. Manushye means all the humans. So when man dies, people are confused about this particular thing. Some people say that it exists, asti iti, that exists. Nayamasti iti, it does not exist, say others. This is the confusion at the time of death, whether we will continue to exist or we will not continue to exist. That is the doubt which haunts most of the people at the time of death. So this vidya, etad vidya, this knowledge, anushishta, you teach me, tvaya aham, you teach me this particular knowledge. Varanam esha, this is the boon, varastutiya, third one, that I am asking you for. So you will be thinking, just now we got to know after we die, we all go to some heaven or hell, and that's the story. So then Kathopanishad should have ended here. But our Nachiketa knows more than his age. He knows that his father is busy with hell and heaven. But I know after hell or heaven, we come back again onto this earth. And after that, we again go to another hell and heaven. And this goes on and on and on. Is there an end to this? Is there something that exists beyond this, or it does not exist? He wants to know about that. Very nicely, he has asked of all the things of the physical world, that is, I must go back to the earth, my father should be happy. Of the higher world, the Bhuloka over, Bhuvaloka also over. Teach me about Swargas and other things. All that is done. Now he is asking for even higher. He's saying, I believe, he knows that there is something that exists beyond this. But nobody else knows how the nature of it is, what happens exactly. And that is why this question was haunting our Nachiketa. Probably that is the reason why he made the first boon as 2 in 1, so that he could ask this as the third boon. Otherwise, he would have asked, first release me from your mouth, second I will go to my father, he should be happy, third teach me about Nachiketa Agni and go back, 3 boons. So he quickly combined the first 2, then asked the second, and then asked the third one. And this was like a shocker to Yama himself. He said, this little boy is asking me for something very, very profound, which most of the people are not even interested. They are busy with Swarga and the Modate Swarga Loke. They are busy with that. At best, they want the highest of the Swarga Loka, 7-star Swarga Loka. Beyond that, nobody is bothered to know. They are happy with whatever they have. Here is a boy who dares to ask me this question, that what is that which exists beyond this Swarga Naraka also? Some people say it is there, some people say it is not there, because nobody has gone there, nobody has seen that, nobody knows that. So they are doubtful. But I have heard some time back that there is something that is beyond all this. I want to learn about it. That is what Nachiketa asks, and I will leave it at here, that how Nachiketa is now adamant to know, he is determined to know, and how Yama is trying to dissuade him from asking this question, which is very, very important question.